I hope that you've had a great week. And I hope that you've been having great weeks as you've implemented some of the things that we've been talking about in these videos. Things like learning how to re-energize, not throwing people under the bus, learning how to manage your path of least resistance, emotional generosity, the skills of optimism. These are all intended for you to start experiencing life in a more positive way, to see life in a more positive perspective, and to be able to handle things a little bit differently so that when life turns sour, you can make it sweet. And today we're going to be talking about how to manage your moods. And this is something that becomes very serious for some people when they actually have to take medication to help lift their mood. Well, I'm going to share with you some things about how to handle a low mood that are really part of how I work with people who have depression. And one of the things that I want you to recall and remember is that you have the power to create a good mood. Your moods begin with what you think about, not the other way around. Some people think that when they're in a bad mood, it creates bad thoughts. It creates bad emotions, but actually it starts with your thoughts. And so one of the things I want you to consider is that a low mood is just that. It's a low mood. It's not something that you should take that seriously. And so one of the things that happens when we're in a bad mood, or I'm going to call it a low mood, is that we lump all of our problems together. Imagine that Joe is about to approach his 20th wedding anniversary, and his wife is in a low mood, and then Joe forgets his anniversary. Because his wife is in a low mood, she's ultra sensitive to Joe forgetting about their anniversary, and it's going to turn into a really big deal. And she may say, "Oh, you always forget our anniversary and you never will remember it." You see, she's taking one event and lumping everything from the past and everything from the future into that one event. Now, I don't want to blame her too much because she was in a low mood to begin with. Imagine that your low mood is like hitting your thumb with a hammer, and it becomes all swollen to the point that even if you were to touch it a little bit, it would be very sensitive and you couldn't use it at all. That's what a low mood does for you. It makes you exaggerate your feelings, and things things appear more significant, more serious, and more negative than they really are. And one of the ways to combat that is to just remember and remind yourself, hey, I'm in a low mood, I'm ultra sensitive, and so my feelings and my emotions are going to be exaggerated. Now, I am not saying that your emotions and your moods are not real. I think that they are real. I just want you to remember and feel that you may have some ultra sensitivity to things when you're in a low mood. So one of the things that you can do when you're in a low mood is let today's problems be enough for today. Don't be lumping everything from the past and everything in the future onto what is happening today. Another thing that you can do is to don't trust your feelings in a low mood, because when you're in a low mood, and this always happens, that's when you want to fix everything. When you are in a relationship and you're in a low mood, that is when you see and you think you see more clearly everything that's wrong with your relationship, and you want to fix it. And the reason you want to fix it is because it's going to make you feel better to fix it. Well, guess what? Don't trust your feelings when you're in a low mood, because you're going to see, feel, and hear things differently than when you're in a positive mood. My recommendation is, if you're having problems in a relationship, the time to talk about those is when you're feeling the best. Now, few of us really want to do that because we're afraid of ruining the good feelings. But what happens if you start talking about problems in your relationship when you're in a low mood, I can guarantee you're going to get in a fight and you're not going to resolve anything, because it's more about the mood than it is about the relationship. So just admit, hey, I'm in a low mood, and don't trust your feelings when you're in a low mood. Another thing I want to recommend is just recognize that you're in a low mood and don't make any serious decisions while you're in a low mood. For example, Do not make any major purchases. Don't make any big other financial decisions. Don't make relationship decisions while you're in a low mood. Now, if you've been in a low mood for a long time and you say, hey, I can't put off making this decision any longer, well then get some advice from an objective third party. Don't make big decisions when you're in a low mood because you're not going to be at your best decision-making ability when you're in a low mood. And it really just takes some self-awareness to recognize that you're in a low mood and then not try to fix everything. Now, the other thing I want to talk about a low mood is this. And it's when other people are in a low mood and you want to fix them and you want to fix their mood. Well, you can't change anyone. And you certainly may not be able to change their mood. You might be able to brighten their day. And remember when we talked about asking, whose life can I bless today? Certainly, you can bless someone's life that's in a low mood by cheering them up and helping them forget about their low mood. But what I'm really talking about is giving someone space when they're in a low mood. For example, you might come home from work one day and your spouse is upset or in a low mood. And you may think that they're mad at you. What are you mad at, you would say? What's wrong with you? What did I do wrong? And you want to know everything about it. It may just be better to just say, hey, I see that you're in a low mood. I'm going to give you your space. Giving people space when they're in a low mood is really important because you need them to process it the way that they process it, not the way you process it. Many times if you approach someone who's in a low mood and you want to understand why they're in a low mood, they may not be able to tell you. But the mere fact that you're asking them may make it worse. So you need to have a little compassion and you need to look at people in a low mood a little bit differently and give them some space. Now, the reverse is true. That if you're the person in the low mood, you need to give an indicator to others around you that you're in a low mood. And you need to ask for space. So rather than getting in an argument, rather than trying to fix everything around you, I think it's just better to come out and say, hey, I'm in a low mood. I don't really know why, or if you know why, here, say why, but I'm in a low mood. I'm not at my best decision-making ability. I'm ultra-sensitive to the things around me. Can I just have some space? By admitting and recognizing when you're in a low mood and then giving everyone a disclaimer is going to allow you to process it from a position of being calm rather than anxious. It's going to allow you to process your low mood and get to a positive mood much quicker rather than lumping everything on top of you. I once had a client who came to me and says, I'm dying. And I said, well, what do you mean? He said, no, literally, I'm dying. I'm dying. I don't know exactly how, but I'm dying. This woman was in such deep depression that she felt her world was crashing down on her and that any day now she was just going to die. It was important for her to recognize that she was in a low mood. It was important for her to recognize that she was experiencing depression. Because once she could accept it, she could get some help. If that is you, if you are really depressed, if you're feeling down and you just cannot see a way out of it, I want you to seek professional help. Because a low mood that lasts a long time, sometimes you just need help to get out of it and then learn some skills to help relieve that depression. Medication may help, it may not. It really depends on how you approach it because medication is a tool just like anything else. Like the videos here, these videos are a tool and I have helped a lot of my clients overcome depression. And if you take these videos somewhat seriously, I am sure that you can handle these low moods a little bit better, have more positive emotions, and experience the great life that you are meant to have, the great life that you are worthy of experiencing, the happiness that is just waiting for you. If you're in a low mood, just accept it. It's a down day. And then try to live that day as positive as you can. Don't let a low mood get you down. Use it as a stepping stone to feel better. If you're in a low mood, I hope that this has helped. And if there's people around you that are in a low mood, I hope that you can help them by giving them some space. It really makes a difference.